This lesson on skeletal system disorders was developed for my pathophysiology class at Delaware Technical and Community College. On the title page, I've included the essential question: what are the major skeletal system disorders and how do they affect the human body? I've also listed the lesson objectives, which are included in the syllabus that I provided for my students at the beginning of this semester. Under the teacher's notes, I've included more information about my pathophysiology class. It consists of 11 students in their second or third year of college who are pursuing a degree in either allied health or nursing. Also, they've already taken Anatomy and Physiology 1 as a prerequisite for this class, so they have a basic knowledge of the skeletal system. At the same time that they're taking this class, they're also enrolled in basic chemistry, so they'll be learning about molecule formation and the calcification process in both classes. Under the lesson notes, I explained that I begin this lesson by reviewing a lot of information about the skeletal system, since many of these students will have taken Anatomy and Physiology 1 over a year ago. This lesson also includes a lot of multimedia, including pictures, links to web pages, videos, and formative assessments. This lesson will be facilitated by the instructor, but the pace will be determined by the students, and it involves frequent student interaction and participation. This lesson also includes several very valuable 21st century skills. On the next page, I've included a concept map so that students can see all the topics in the lesson and how they are related. The central item is the skeletal system, and then branching off are the major bone types, the 4 major types of bone cells and their diagrams, and 3 major kinds of bone disorders, including bone fractures and several types of these. Next, we have a topic menu, and this allows students to explore many different topics related to the skeletal system. I usually begin with this assessment. This asks students to classify the bones at the bottom based on whether they are long bones, short bones, or flat bones. I have students come up to the smartboard and choose one of these bones at the bottom and put it in the correct category. Once all of the students have participated, we can then check the answers. We can solve to complete the activity and then reset if we want to do it again. And then going back to the topic menu, there are a lot of different topics to explore, but before going into each one, I ask students what they know about each topic. For example, before entering this topic, parts of a long bone, I'll ask them what parts they remember, where they're located. This lists the major components of a long bone. And the next page includes a diagram of a long bone, and this identifies these major components. I'll do the same thing for the major types of bones and ask students if they can name the types of bones, give an example of each one, and give a basic description. This diagram shows an example of each of the types of bones. This next topic is types of bone cells. And again, I'll ask students what they remember about the various types of bone cells, and then we'll review the 4 major types. Then I'll have them complete an assessment about the bone cells. This time it's a multiple choice assessment, and I ask them to participate as a group. If they answer and it's correct, it lets them know, and we'll move on to the next question. When they answer, if it is incorrect, this will also let them know, and they get another try. Once they've correctly answered the 3 questions, we can hit finish, and they can see their results. And then we'll go back to the topic menu. Now all of the major topics have been covered, but I'll usually have them complete this first assessment again. And this allows us to compare how they've done between before doing the review and then after. There's a second topic menu that includes many of the skeletal system disorders. So they can select which one they want to begin with. And for each of these, there's basic information on the page, but then more information if they click the link in the bottom left corner. This takes them to the Mayo Clinic website, which provides a lot of information about each disorder, including symptoms, causes, risk factors, complications, tests, methods of diagnosis, and also treatment. Each time we'll go back to the topic menu and then they can select which topic they want to look at next. For osteoporosis, they have another link to the Mayo Clinic, which provides, again, a lot of information about this disorder. When they select bone fractures, I've listed the major types of fractures. And then once we've reviewed that, they can look at a diagram, which gives them a visual representation of each of the major types of fractures. And then finally, they can view a video through YouTube, which describes bone fractures.
Fracture types and mechanisms. There are many types of fractures. However, the main types are described as either displaced, non-displaced, open, and closed. Displaced and non-displaced fractures refer to the way the bone breaks.
Students generally enjoy watching this video because it shows them exactly how these bone fractures can occur and gives them a great description for each one. After they've reviewed all this information, they can take an assessment about the bone fractures. This time it's a matching activity. And again, I'll have them come up to the smartboard one at a time and select a type of fracture and match it up with its basic description. Once the assessment is completed, we can check the answers and then reset in case we want to do it again. Once we go back to the topic menu, there's one final item, which is a thought question, and I'll generally have students work in groups to answer this question. I'll give them a couple minutes to think about their answer, and then I'll have them share with the class what they think the explanation is. And then when they're ready, I will reveal the answer. By using the Smart Notebook, I can create a lesson that is extremely interactive and engaging. This technology facilitates the use of multimedia to supplement the information that I present to my class. For instance, it's very easy to include videos, animated graphics, and pictures using this technology. Furthermore, the students love this type of lesson since it is so interactive. They have the opportunity to come up to the board to participate in assessments and games, which they really enjoy. Many of the activities available through the Smart Notebook promote collaboration among students, and they frequently work in groups to complete these activities. I especially like the Smart Notebook because it appeals to many different learning styles. Auditory learners benefit from my detailed explanation of terms and relationships between structures. Visual learners benefit from all of the pictures, graphics, and videos. And also kinesthetic learners benefit from going up and touching and moving items on the smartboard. I'm glad that I had this opportunity to learn more about all of the features of Smart Notebook, and I plan to utilize it even more in the future.